There's a war going on, the books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money back with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Tuesday, February 17th. We're getting ready for a day of, college basketball previews here. We're going to preview the 8 best games, I think, here for the card. We've got other sports action to talk about today. We're still riding into the week, get ready for the NBA to return on Thursday, and of course hockey here in the middle of the night at the Winter Olympics. In case you missed it, we do have the first 2 finals in here from the men's games here, with Germany defeating France 5-1, and Switzerland defeated Italy earlier 3-0. Still to come here in about an hour and a half. More hockey action here with Czechia and Denmark coming up in that one. You got Czechia about a 450 favorite there. I think they can get this money here, laying a goal and a half. I'd probably be willing to take Czechia here, and maybe the under. You're gonna have to thread the needle a little bit there. The total is 5.5 over. I'd probably try to bump it up to 6 and lay a little juice there. Figure Czechia gets this win somewhere in the range of 4-1, but it could be 4-2 in there, 3-1 hopefully. But I think Czechia under for me in that next game coming up here in about an hour and a half at the Winter Olympics here today. So thanks for joining me here. There's also one other game later on here with Sweden versus Latvia, and you got Sweden even a bigger favorite in that one at minus 1,400, and the total 5.5 over 40 in that one. You know, Sweden should be able to handle it. Minus 3 goals is going to be tough. I think they can probably win by 3, but it could be 4. Maybe we can get a 5-1 game. Man, that takes it right on the total. If you bump that one up to 6 as well. These are really close today, especially with it 5.5. Heavily juiced here, but playoff action is still probably more dominant here for Sweden in this one. Man, I still want to take them here in this spot. I think for me, I've got to consider for Sweden here, I mean, they have depth on their roster, especially with the couple guys sidelined here, but you have some other guys in there, Hansen, Lindholm are legitimate NHLers, and Landeskog as well. I think Latvia's 4-3 upset of Germany was opportunistic. They kind of structurally survived there, it felt like, throughout the tournament. So maybe it's going to be around 4-1 or 5-1. So I want to lay Sweden. I guess I could go under there, but it's going to be one or the other, unfortunately, I think, right where the score is going to land. So you could bend them a little bit in there, and also maybe you could go to some of the alternative betting and just try to find Sweden in there, in and under, but man, it could be 5-1. It feels like 5-1 or so. That wouldn't even take it under 6. So real close here, given the potential blowout, but 6 is kind of a high threshold for playoff style hockey with the two teams like Sweden and Latvia in there. So I guess with the qualification elimination spot, it's going to be tighter defensive structure. If Sweden goes up 3-0 or 4-1, the tempo likely to drop, and you're going to have to preserve the energy for the U.S. The next day. So Slovakia to beat Germany, Finland to meet Switzerland now in the other quarterfinals that have been determined here. Then we'll find out. Will it be Czech Republic or Denmark to take on Canada? Will it be Sweden or Latvia to take on the United States? So 5-1 or 4-1. I think I'm either going to go 1-0-1. That's the positive way to look at it. It's gonna be tough to go 2-0, but hey, we just saw a 3-0 game in there with Switzerland and Italy, so maybe Sweden could win 4-0 over Latvia. So again, I'm going Czechia minus a goal and a half and under 6. And I'm going to go Sweden minus 3 goals and also under 6. I'm going to have to take it up, bend it down, and lay some juice to get that total in there. It's going to be pretty hard to win them all in a sweep with those type of games, but that's the way I see it out at the Olympic Games today. All right. Hello, everybody in the chat. We're going to have a great show here, watching some other sports going on. I'm watching the biathlon here with the men's relay right now. Man, I did take France here to beat Norway. It's a really great event right now, and France plus $1.35, and they're really into it right here with Norway in the biathlon. I'm betting biathlon here in the middle of the night. And we also saw speed skating, women's team pursuit just moments ago. Going to be an exciting final with the Netherlands in there. I got to think Netherlands can win it. They were $2 favorites there in that one. All right. See who else is here and ready to go in the chat. Twisted is here today. He crushed it in the colleges there yesterday. Man, good thing someone did here yesterday. I did find a couple winners here on the morning steam yesterday, but maybe it's few and far between. We did have Iowa State there yesterday over Houston here, as I took the Cyclones laying 2.5, and well, they found a way to get it done. And now Iowa State has back-to-back wins here a little bit. Not much you can say about it. I mean, Iowa State has beaten Kansas and Houston here in a 3-day span, both at home. Cyclones were down 10 with 7 minutes left in the game. They won it 70-67. It did sneak over there, but we had Iowa State as our morning steam winner here, and also had Stephen F. Austin laying the points against Corpus Christi there in that one. So it was tough for me there a little bit in the colleges yesterday. We did have South Alabama and Marshall game to go over as a winner here on the show as well. All right. See who else is here. We'll talk a little bit some of the other games, and also speaking of Iowa State, how about they have a player on the team, Nate Heiss, whose sister plays on the U.S. Olympic hockey team there. We saw those games there yesterday with the U.S. beating Sweden 5-0, and Canada getting that win over Switzerland. Just 2-1 in that one. I said it'd be 6-1 or 7-1, remember? And then it was 2-1, but Canada did advance on the women's side of the U.S. and Canada on the women's finals. That should be an exciting one. Everybody's going to be pretty fired up for that one on the women's side. And that is on Thursday at 1:10 p.m. Eastern, 10:10 Pacific time in the morning on Thursday with the women's gold medal hockey game. Elsewhere in college basketball last night, Duke routed Syracuse as well. Duke was extremely efficient in that game. Man, they really looked tight. Tight meaning good. That's what the kids say. And they kind of rolled there in that one. Who else is here in the chat? Twisted's got all his action up there talking about the games on the 26. Great job by Twisted in there. And also AOD's with us this morning. Figure we're getting a little bit of a crowd in here a little bit. Philly Eagle Flyer as well in here. And our Tomps ready to go today. Steve Leptarian here, Trevor Davis. Oh, here we go. Robert McCormick. I'm seeing everybody now here. Andrew K. I'm the Great. Okay, great. Everybody's here now. You can get more picks from me every day over at winnable.com/Ramon with my premium picks over at Winnable. We were able to score yesterday, at least with some of those picks, and here overnight as well. Right now, I've got my UEFA Champions League premium picks up there for Tuesday, my two best plays on the 4-game card today here with my sports money premiums. Check it out over at winnable.com/Ramon and use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off those premium pick packages. Also, I have a couple of tennis plays in there as well. We're going to come with a little more later. Did score yesterday with our women's college basketball plays. We had 2 plays in there. We had the VIP play that won Mississippi State and Arkansas under, and also Oklahoma State and Utah with our premium women's play under. So, thank our Tomps here. We've been hot on these women's plays, trying to incorporate a little bit more action. I mean, I've got ratings, so why not use them here? And we've been off to a pretty good run here the last couple of days on the ladies' side. College baseball as well. Did split my plays there yesterday, but did have some winners there, and hopefully going to bring some more winners here today. So join me over at winnable.com/Ramon and use that promo code STEAM to save 20%. Thanks for everybody for subscribing to those plays. All right. And a few more names in here today. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube. Fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. And there's Justin. Sports Money is money. And I think this is right here. Let's see here. Twisted's plays coming in here today. Good to have Twisted in here with his plays. All right. Who else is here? That's about it. Ready to join me here and get going. All right, yeah. Like I said, I'm just checking out some results here a little bit. Champions League, as I said later on today, 4 games in the Champions League with Juventus and Galatasaray, Atalanta and Dortmund, PSG and Monaco, Real Madrid and Benfica. Exciting action there in the Champions League soccer knockout rounds here starting today. So good games there, and getting rolling here with Champions League knockout action. All right, and I think that's probably it for the best news overnight here. So let's just get rolling with the show, and I'll try to think of some other things maybe that went down. There is a little bit of breaking news right now. Also, speaking of breaking news, real news, thinking about the passing of civil rights leader Jesse Jackson this morning, passing away here, and also just announced here within the last few minutes. Let me get this breaking news to you. Maybe you caught this one. It's just been out within the last 30 minutes, but reportedly, Jake Paul's MVP organization will have their first MMA card this May at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, and it'll feature a 5-round bout between 2 of the biggest names in MMA history, women's MMA history for sure, if not MMA as well. And they haven't announced all the fights, but the headliner has announced it'll be a 5-round bout between Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. Carano will be coming in off of a 17-year layoff. The 41-year-old going to take on Ronda Rousey in Los Angeles in a 5-round MMA event for a couple ladies who have been retired for quite a while. We'll see what they can do to bring the excitement there for the bout, but it is produced by Jake Paul's organization. So Rousey comes in off basically a 10-year retirement to face Carano in a featherweight bout at the Intuit Dome, and it'll be on Netflix. So that just in about 45 minutes ago was officially announced. Rousey makes her MMA return, as does Carano there in a what can only be described as interesting here within the last couple of minutes. That news has come in here. Twisted's already ready to comment on it. Yeah, Robert Duvall as well. Certainly one of my favorite actors in there. Rhonda gonna smash. Just interesting that it wasn't Endeavor, wasn't the UFC group to promote that or get that involved. Maybe they figure a little bit too much of a reach here. So we'll see, what the ladies can do. 5 rounds, that does seem a little bit wild for these, but it is a ladies bout in there. So looks like it'll be, a good night, a fun night anyway, come in May. All right. All right, I think we're ready to roll here with some of our previews. We just got a short card, so I didn't want to take up too much of your time here today, but also in action today, some tennis going on here as well. And by the way, we do have up and available right now here on the Sports Money Network underneath the live tab. It's going to be VB MMA picks. And we had our preview for this Saturday's MMA card in Houston with Sean Strickland in action against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Middleweight top contenders here with Hernandez coming in with an 8-fight winning streak. He's 9-2 overall. He's won 8 straight. Comes in off of a win over Dolidze last August, and he's up a minus 270 favorite against Sean Strickland, the former champ. The 34-year-old from Southern California comes in off of a second loss to Dricus du Plessis. Last fought in February against du Plessis at UFC 312 in Sydney. So Sean Strickland, Anthony Hernandez is previewed on VB MMA Picks. And our guest analyst this week was Uncle Weezy. Joined us for this one. We also previewed Zach Reese and Michelle Pereira in another middleweight bout. And also we took a little look at welterweights with Njoku Ani and Carlos Leal there. Check it out, VB MMA Picks underneath the live tab, and we'll be with you this Saturday night for UFC Fight Night, Strickland versus Hernandez from the Toyota Center in Houston as our companion coverage here this week. And I imagine there might also be a stream on Sunday when the U.S. hopefully takes on Canada in the men's hockey final. All right, so check out VB MMA Picks here this week. All right, we're going to get rolling here right now and take a look. And there's the twist. It says the Strickland smashes, and Justin and our Tom's also thinking about the Reverend Jesse Jackson here. That just was announced probably about 2 hours ago, I want to say right now. And yeah, they're all piling up, Twisted. They're all here. Who knows? Hey, he likes Strickland there to smash. That's great. A big underdog here is Strickland in that bout. Hello to Cash Kane, ready to go here with our previews today. Like I said, I think we'll just get rolling here right now. Why not? Because we're ready to go. And I guess one more piece of news that was interesting. I guess it actually was from a day ago, but they made it official yesterday. How about Sacramento State joining the MAC? They passed or I don't know, couldn't. I'm sure it was thought of. I mean, you got some other conferences out here in the shifting of the West, right? With, maybe the Pac-12 was a little bit too much of a stretch there, but they could have looked to the Mountain West there with Sacramento State, but they went feels like kind of big time in joining the MAC, but does make it a little bit of a trans continental league a little bit with Okay, I got some other breaking news here right now. I think we're going to have to really address this one real quick here. But so just talking about that. So the Sacramento State joining the MAC here within the last uh, couple of hours. All right, I got more breaking news here right now. Stand by. All right, within the last couple of minutes, not many details uh, here right now on this one, but a little bit of a stunner that uh, executive director of the Major League Baseball Players Association, former Major Leaguer Tony Clark, is expected to announce his resignation as labor leader for the Players Association. Clark is expected to announce his resignation here. We've just learned within the last couple of minutes, Clark and the union have been under federal investigation since last year regarding using licensing money or equity to possibly enrich themselves. So Clark is a man who I've followed since his youth, actually, as a top baseball and high school player in East San Diego County, rose to the ranks here to be the leader of the players union. But right now, Clark reportedly expected to resign here as MLBPA executive director. That just in within the last couple of minutes, and we'll be looking for more information on this right now. Just a few minutes ago. Big news there. Okay. Let me get rolling right now here on the show and start to take a look at our big games today in college basketball. We've only got 8 to look at here, although there are some great games out there today. Let's get going with our action here in the Big Ten with a big one here. We just came off a huge game there last night with Houston and Iowa State. Well, here we are with another great one here with Michigan taking on Purdue to get us rolling here on Tuesdays, 6:30 Eastern and 3:30 Pacific time with Michigan, who was put at the top yesterday on the polls that came out in Michigan, back to number 1 here, following a little shakeup there last week. We're taking on the number 7 Boilermakers here. Boilers have won 4 straight right now with some impressive wins as well. They beat up on Maryland. They did beat Oregon, didn't cover, but won. Beat Nebraska on the road and also beat Iowa on the road. So Purdue's had a couple of impressive wins here really of late. Michigan, of course, they're on fire, and 23-1 here right now for the 24-1 for the Wolverines right now atop the charts here. Just released on Monday, the new poll comes out. Michigan number 1. Michigan here has won, and they've covered 13 of the last 17 matchups against the Purdue Boilermakers. Michigan's 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games coming into this one. For Purdue here, they're just 3-8 against the spread in their last 11 games. And Purdue comes in having failed to cover in 5 straight home games right now. So this is for Purdue here, just the 3rd time they've been an underdog all season, but they did win and cover both other previous chances as an underdog. In fact, it was just the other day when they were an underdog at Nebraska by 2 points, and they were able to win that game 80-77 as part of that 4-game winning streak right now for the Boilermakers. Look this season for the Boilers, and they're just 5-10 against the spread at home overall. But as a dog, this has pretty much been a better role for them. But still, you're going up against Michigan here right now. And yeah, Michigan's going to be favored in this one. But look, these two teams haven't yet met this season. Michigan's won the last 2 meetings, both meetings last year. Well, Purdue won the first meeting in early January at home, and they crushed Michigan 91-64. Michigan returned the favor with a home win 75-73, but they did not cover, and then they met in the conference tournament, and Michigan won it. 86-68 is a 2.5 point dog, so Michigan's actually won the last two meetings straight up in the series. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Well, Michigan has gone under in 7 of their last 10 overall. So, hey, this is where I ask you in the chat to put in your picks, and I like to show them on the air. And if you do, put anything in the chat, you're eligible for a drawing here at the end of the show where I give away a free subscription to my extra picks here at winnable.com. So, hey, consider that. If you win, you'll use the promo code WINNER at checkout, and you'll get 1 free month. All you got to do is comment in the chat. I'm going to show your plays here with Michigan taking on Purdue. Here we go. All right. Let's see here. We got Stacks is on Purdue in this one. Twisted likes the over here. Purdue also there for Twisted. Gains on the over here right now. Purdue over for our tops. Twisted's liking a lot of overs here today. Bar says Michigan. Bar won yesterday. Bar, I hope I want to make sure I get the right. I got a couple of guys that go by Var, so I hope I get the right one there. I put the month on there. Bar is just such a great supporter anyways. I do appreciate it very much. Elliot Jamison here today saying Michigan and the over. Purdue's due for a loss, says Kane. How about 9 Legacy? Says Michigan on the spread. Steve likes Purdue to win this one at home. Kane said this one could go overtime. Andrew K's on the Wolverines. Bobby Mack is on the Wolverines here.
Critical notice.
And Twisted says that Purdue might knock down their threes. And Dimitri says Michigan. I mean, Michigan right now looking so good here at this point. I mean, hey, this is still tough. It's still a conference game. It's still on the road. But, man, Michigan here really getting after it here all of a sudden. All right. Hey, when I look at these two, I mean, I know this one is high. It feels like as far as the total's concerned. Now, granted, we do have Purdue. It definitely can produce here offensively as well, but I kind of went with the eye test a little bit with this one. And the total here, look, 156, even 156.5 here right now. Look, this is a Big Ten game, man. I don't know if I to me, it feels like they're going to be slugging this one out a little bit. So, man, I want to go under here in this one with Purdue and Michigan. It just seems like every time you get, Michigan here, whenever they're up against a fellow top-ranked team, if you will, it's just more of a defensive battle, especially when you have conference play like this. 155, I suggest that both teams here are going to be playing this one in the high 70s, when I think this game is, hard-pressed to get to 70 against one another, although that wouldn't be the case if you've looked at the series here of late. I mean, it's a lot of overs. Even the game last year that was 75-73 went for 148 there. And I don't know, maybe that's how I can look at it. Maybe both teams in the mid 70s here might be okay to stay under. I'm going under in this one with Michigan and Purdue. All right. These Michigan games against top teams, they rarely get to 155 points. I promise you that. All right, man, the markets are having a tumble here. What is going on? Everything taking a hit, particularly the cryptos again here, just getting pasted. Mostly the cryptos. All right. Let's keep it moving here right now with our 8-game card. And also I'm watching my biathlon here coming to the finish of the men's 4x7.5 kilometer relay there. And it is France winning. All right. Hey, I've got a winner at the Olympics here with France. Plus $1.35 winning the biathlon men's relay there. A little bit of an upset. Norway was favored, but France won it, and Norway finished second. I do know my biathlon. All right, here we go. Miami of Ohio taking on Massachusetts here. Well, we got to step in. If we're going to look at Michigan, we got to look at Miami of Ohio. Coming in here still undefeated. You figure the bubble's got to burst sometime. They're 25-0, ranked 22nd in the country here with Miami of Ohio taking on UMass. UMass has been pretty awesome in the underdog role this season. UMass is 8-1 as an underdog this year. Wow. Miami of Ohio has been incredibly solid on the road this year. They're 8-2 against the spread. They're 12-6 against the spread as a favorite. They're not a team that is overrated necessarily because, as solid as they are, you don't see 25-0 coming, and they've been able to cover the spread in a lot of games, particularly early on when they were just expected to be good. I don't know if anybody thought this good, but maybe so here. And let's see what you want to do here with this one with Miami of Ohio. They've gone 14-5 against the spread in their last 19 games overall. UMass here just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games at home, and also just 3-7 against the spread in their last 10 games. So UMass does have some struggles against in some roles here, but again, 8-1 as an underdog does sound pretty juicy against the spread, even against this Miami of Ohio team. They did meet already in their first meeting of the season, and it was Miami of Ohio winning it 86-84. They didn't come close to covering in that one, favored by 9.5 points at home back on January 27th. UMass comes in here off of a couple losses actually on the road against Coastal Carolina and Akron, but this season at home they are 10-3, straight up anyway. We know Miami of Ohio is undefeated, of course, on the road as well, going 10-0. See what you got in this one. Can you do it? Does anybody want to pull the trigger here on UMass possibly to get an upset here today against Miami of Ohio? Miami of Ohio, as good as they've been, they've had close calls. They've had to pull it out at the last moments on a few of them. Yeah, they've rocked a few teams as well. In fact, they just covered recently here. They're favored in a lot of games now, but covered against Ohio U last time out. They covered against Marshall here recently as well, covered against NIU. They did fail against Buffalo, 73-71 is a 4.5 point favorite here recently, but still, this team's been hot. Let's go to the chat in this one. See what you got. Miami of Ohio taking on UMass. Miami of Ohio in a smash spot here, says Twisted today. Says UMass may be playing a little bit better, but maybe just not getting enough here. I still can't get over 8-1 as an underdog. That is, eventually the bubble's got to burst. All right, let's see here. Cash Kane says Miami of Ohio on the spread. Elliot's got Miami of Ohio. Twisted's on Miami of Ohio after all. VAR's on Miami. Oh man. Okay, Justin's on the over here. So many are on Miami of Ohio. I don't know if I want to go against them. I just might have to go with that over with Justin here. I mean, there's no doubt this one. If you got to figure, if I can't buck the chat here, all going with Miami of Ohio, and I can't give you any other trends. I mean, like I said, Miami of Ohio. Massachusetts isn't covering many. Anything else, but like I said, except for as an underdog, I guess. VAR says the over might hit here. Elliot's on the over as well. 9 Legacies on UMass, though. Phil Eagle Flyer talking a little Champions League here with Benfica and Galatasaray. Halftime, first half, halftime, full-time draws. Robert liking UMass at home, so I think it's evened up with the chat here a little bit. there is support in there for UMass. And I want to take UMass here. Just look, they're not. I guess if you were going to look at it right, you'd probably want to try to take someone else with a little bit stronger record. But I don't know. Miami has turned some of those guys away. UMass is only 6-7 here in conference play. Akron takes on Western Michigan today. They're only a game back. So if they were to win and Miami were to lose, all of a sudden they would be tied for first place. So. All right. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and take UMass in this one. I'm going with UMass at home. Look, I think it will be a high-scoring game, as we were saying there in the chat a little bit. The first meeting went for 170 points, and these two teams are combined 32-15 to the over. Even I can figure that out. It's close to 70% right there. Miami of Ohio is 14-4 to the over as a favorite. Massachusetts is 9-5 to the over at home. Even with this inflated number, I mean, you got to think it's going to be headed possibly north of 163. In fact, I'm showing it down to 162 here. Actually, I'm showing with some 161.5 here just within the last few minutes, maybe within the last hour, actually. So I'm going to take UMass here in this one for the possible upset. I'll grab 3 points in this one. North Carolina is taking on North Carolina State tonight in college basketball action. 16th ranked North Carolina comes in 20-5. NC State is 18-8 here right now, but NC State's lost 2 in a row coming into Louisville and Miami. In fact, they've failed to cover in 4 straight games, including wins against Virginia Tech and SMU recently. For North Carolina here, they're in a pretty good groove here. They just blasted Pitt last time out, 79-65 to cover 11.5. They did lose to Miami before that on the road last Tuesday, 75-66, but they did have consecutive wins before that. Now, Carolina is just 3-6 against the spread on the road, but they are 3-2 against the spread as an underdog here. And the spread that you see there, you might say, well, what's going on here? Why would you, even with this rivalry, it does seem a little bit steep at 6 and 158, but Carolina has a rash of injuries. North Carolina has a rash of injuries right now coming into this game. I mean, it is a deep list of injuries here currently, including one of the best players in the country who's going to miss this game. In fact, their top 2 scorers, top 2 best players, I think, are out here with Caleb Wilson. Of course, he's out with a hand injury. And then you have Henry Vesar. He's out as well in this game. And there are others. So look at North Carolina. They're 8-4 right now in the standings. But, Wilson, your best player. From there, you got Vesar, another one of your top players. He's going to miss this game also. Matt Lakovich, he is out of this game. Now, these are a little bit, more reserves here. He's not getting in the game very much at all, but James Brown, he's out of this game as well. He's just a bit player in there, but really the 2 top players out of this game. Also, Isaiah Dennis, he's out of the game as well, but these guys are just guys off the bench. It's really Wilson and Vassar that you're really worried about here in this one, and really hurts Carolina. But this is North Carolina. After all, they should have players to step up here, like Seth Trimble and Kyan Evans as well. And I would think Jaron Stevenson for sure gets a lot more run here. So let's see what you have and how you can adjust for this one. Is it too much of an adjustment there? Can Carolina still hang here despite the fact they're missing such key players here really at this point? You're basically missing your top scorer and rebounder in there in Caleb Wilson. Carolina's covered 5 of their last 7 games coming in. They've won 6 of their last 7 overall. NC State's won 6 of 8, but covered just 4 of their last 5. Coming in, failed to cover 4 straight, like I said. Basically here, 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Carolina, those gone over in 9 of their last 11, and North Carolina State's gone over in 7 of their last 8. But man, look, this total here, you're missing some big-time production from North Carolina, and it feels like that's going to have to change the complexion of the game, I think, here, especially when I consistently see these North Carolina State when they're at home. It does feel like when they're at home in conference play, the games never get up here close to 160. I know these teams have kind of been going over this year. You got Carolina over, like I said, both these teams on a solid over run right now, but you're missing some production here from Carolina. And North Carolina State games at home in conference play rarely get to this point. Now, maybe it's built in to the line, but doesn't feel like it. Aren't all the Carolina lines here in the 158, 160 range or so, and never much higher than that? Man, let's see what you got in the chat. I might be going with the total here, but here we go. Okay, North Carolina game, and it's Justin. He does like State to rock here in this one, and Twisted as well on State. Var says no, he's got North Carolina, but it went down to 5.5 here. Looks like they are taking the heels a little bit. Twisted says they are banged up. Big pieces, right? It's unquestionably the 2 best players on North Carolina. I mean, all right, Elliott here, North Carolina in the over. 9 Legacy says North Carolina plus the points. So, Twisted says they'll win it with the 3s. Tar Heels for Cash Gain. Robert's on the heels here as well. Okay, R. Tops on NC State. Kane says, still got a rivalry game here. In North Carolina, it's not like they only recruited 10 guys, right? You got guys ready to step up here for North Carolina. But how much of an impact, you're talking about this great freshman, Caleb Wilson, who's one of the best players in the country for sure. Twisted going under there. I think I'd have to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and take NC State here to rock. Kane has on the heels here, and I'm going to take North Carolina State in this big rivalry game here. I think Carolina can make the adjustments here eventually, kind of steady things, but just right now with the Wilson just adjusting here, it's not like he has already missed 1 game here. They did win that one without him there against Pitt. Okay. Kane was on the heels to win. Steve's on the under. Twisted says the heels not really that deep. Yeah, I mean, look, you got Bogovac as well. Let's see here, Derek Dixon. Some guys are going to have to step up in some of these roles here too. Jaden Young as well. So there's players, but they're just going to have to gel a little bit more because Wilson isn't coming back anytime soon. Bissar, I believe, will be just more of a short-term injury here or whatever his situation is. But he's questionable for the game. He still could play in this game. All right, I'm going to take the Wolfpack here one time on a blowout of the heels. All right. Let's keep it moving here right now. Another good game in the ACC. We're going to look at Louisville taking on SMU. Well, Louisville here, they're ranked 21st now in the latest poll. They continue to climb here at the good winning streak here right now for Louisville. They're finding their stride here as well of late. So Louisville on the climb higher here with a 5-game winning streak. Still, they're just 4-8 against the spread in their last 12 games and 2-6 against the spread their last 8 games on the road. 10 of Louisville's last 15 games have gone under. SMU here has won at home here. Great record, 13-2 straight up, but they are just 3-7 straight up as an underdog, and Louisville 14-3 straight up as a favorite. Louisville 10-7 against the spread as a favorite here. SMU 6-9. ATS at home. Another one where you think of SMU. Look at this total. Is it still 166 right now? Yeah, even 167 here at a few spots and I get it. I mean, look, you have a team here like SMU. They're definitely able to put up some points. Hey, there's our first Steam play of the day right now. How about it? What do we got here? South Carolina is taking the Steam in their game against Florida today. Gators going to be favored pretty big here, but South Carolina's taking the Steam. They were getting 24. It's down to 22.5 here, I believe. Is that our first on-air Steam move here right now? It's down to 22.5 here at a lot of books with South Carolina taking that Steam here on the Morning Steam Show. Hopefully that's why you're with me here. I'm going to have some great winners, but hey, pass along that Steam. Anybody, look, I had a rough day. If anybody would have listened to the Steam that we sent out on the show here, again, just actionable betting information. These are not my plays. These are moves that are basically notified. You hear the noise in the background there, and it's just something that's sent out by the guys over at Don Best. Good morning to them, by the way. They're watching the show live. They know they hit the button and then they hear it and know it's worked. But if you just would have followed the moves yesterday, not only the Steam that came across, but just the moves in general, you probably would have hit close to, over 60%, probably close to 65%. The moves that we gave out on the show were really clear. And shame on me because I did not play. Remember, even on the show, I said, I'm fading this Steam a couple of times. I had a rough day. The Steam pretty much rocked yesterday. There's no doubt about it, especially on the added board, on the extra board, like it always does. But shame on me. I mean, I pay for here's another one. So you're probably going to want to play it now with these moves today. But Wyoming taking the Steam right now here against Fresno State. Wyoming was probably 7.5 or 8, but they're going to go up, I believe, here to 9 right now. Wyoming's taking the Steam. They actually were a 9 overnight. It was pushed back a little bit, and now they're steaming it here. Maybe it was dummied up a little bit with Wyoming. And like I said, there's no doubt if you would have rolled with the Steam yesterday, you wouldn't have been a loser like me with my Mac and my Miak and Swack picks were not great. Like I started off hot on those conferences. Okay, Texas is getting steamed here right now in their game against LSU. Texas was an 11-point favorite, but look at this one right now. Texas is going higher, and they are up to 11.5, even 12 here at Circa right now. Texas taking the Steam today at home here against LSU. All right, let me go to your plays here right now with Louisville taking on SMU. Did we at least spew out a little bit of information for you? Let's see what you got. I'll go to the chat. Chat's lined up on this one. Here we go. Twisted says Louisville covers this one. Justin, though, likes SMU getting these points at home. Oh, more Steam. This is exciting now. Oh, well, to be fair, the Sharps have really been active so far in the NBA for the return on Thursday. They've already hit plenty of these games, especially on the totals right now. They're just moving another one here under in the Celtics and the Warriors game here. Look, these games are still on Thursday, but the sharps have moved. There's been plenty of steam on a lot of these games already, and that's one of them here coming across right now with the the Celtics and the Warriors getting hit to the under. But I'm looking for college steam. Cash Kane says got to be Louisville here. James Farm, good morning. Robert's on he does like the over in this one. Okay, that worries me a little bit because it's just another one where, look, I could sit here and tell you, especially SMU right now, Louisville is a little bit of an under team, no doubt about it. And also, Louisville, when you see these conference games, it just look, I don't want to say it's just, boy, I watch these games. You have to trust me because the numbers don't really pan out too much. Yeah, Louisville is going a little bit under, but man, I tell you what, when I watch these Louisville games, these conference weeknight games, it seems like every time the thing never gets to 160, even much less 166. Var here says Louisville, easy cash. Elliot's on Louisville here. And Kane says the dogs will be barking on a slow slate. James Parham's on Louisville money line. Our Toms likes the over here as well. Robbie Mack likes Louisville. And Elliot Louisville in the under here. And Twisted, though, does like the over in this one. Barr says you got a round robin this one today. Look, people say, they always say right on these shows, don't parlay. Man, the times are changing. You're supposed to parlay if you have what you believe to be a decided edge. If you're parlaying just to gamble, that's one thing. Okay, here we go. And look at what Elliot said. Look at that. He says it has. Wow, look at that. See, I knew that just goes right in line with what I was saying there. On the road, 165. Yeah, I mean, and look, obviously when you play a lot of those teams in there, it wasn't going to come close anyways. A lot has to do with your opponent, much like it does in this game. Like I said, SMU is the over team in this one a little bit. So, okay. You know what? For me here in this one, Louisville and SMU, look, a lot of people liking the over, and I think kind of what Twisted here is saying. Maybe we're in a little bit of agreement, Twisted and I, but for the most part, I feel like going against in the chat. So maybe I'm going to go with the side here in this one with Louisville and SMU. Let me dial it up here real quick. I'm going to take SMU here at home plus the points. I'm a big fan of the Mustangs. Give me SMU at home in this one. TweetDeck is crashing over here. Okay. And let's keep it moving here right now. What are we, halfway through our 8-game card? Our 8-game previews? All right. Okay, I'm going to take one game here in the A10 with George Washington and VCU. VCU gets mentioned here today because they are hot. They've got the 4th longest winning streak in the nation right now at 9 games. Coming in, they've catapulted themselves into 2nd place in the A10 right now, just a game and a half back of undefeated St. Louis, undefeated in conference there anyway. St. Louis does play today against Rhode Island, and that was a scary incident yesterday there in Rhode Island in that youth hockey match. Anyway, here for St. Louis, they did take the steam here today as well in that matchup. Man, they're up to 11.5 or 12 against Rhode Island. But we're looking at this one here with the G-Dub on the road, getting the points here. It looks like 6.5 currently in one. Yeah, yep, 6.5 and 162. Now, VCU does come in here, like I said, on this winning streak, and they're covering games too here of late. They aren't covering them all, but they did just rock Richmond on the road by 11 as a 7.5-point favorite. They did not cover at LaSalle, but still won by 9 as a 12.5-point favorite in that one. As VCU they're just as hot as they are. They're 5-11 against the spread at home. They're usually a little bit overvalued, actually. And even though GW, they're a little bit subpar, but ATS wise, but they are 3-3 ATS as an underdog. Widely reported steam came in on the over here, and this is another one where I don't know if I get it here. Yeah, we're not back at old school VCU here, but just another one of those where you watch these uh, BCU games, maybe more so when GW is on the road as well. I just don't see a lot of these games really going over here. And this one's gone from 165 down to 162 or so here. So, look, George Washington doesn't have a lot of high scoring games when they go out on the conference road here. They just did win consecutive games at home against Rhode Island and George Mason, but they haven't been covering much at all. In fact, the last game when they did cover against George Mason, that kind of stopped a non-cover streak for George Washington. GW has lost 6 of their last 9 overall and gone 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games, but George Washington has covered 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams. VCU is part of their 9-game winning streak here, just 2-4 against the spread. Oh man, 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. VCU has gone under in 6 of their last 8. They're also under in 4 of 6 games as an underdog. George Washington's gone under in 7 of their last 8 coming in. Now, the series has gone over in 4 of the last 6 games. And, the steam came in on the over, but it's not like this thing opened 164, 164.5, and even Bovada's down to 161.5 here. So the steam came in on the over, but this one's obviously moving to the under. Let's see how you have it here with the Georgia. VCU is going to blow these guys out, aren't they? Let me go to the chat here in this one and see what you have. Okay. And we're going to start here with Bar on the under here. Twisted says wants to check GW, not sure. AOD says, hey, GW did smack Mason in that last game, right? So, and that has helped GW kind of. They're only 6-7 in conference play. Mason has kind of fallen off the pace now at 9-4. George Washington, though, there for stacks. Okay. And let's see, AOD in the long streak, George Mason was scoring more than 60. I think that is what he's saying there. Is that right? Steve Leptarian says VCU and the over. Dimitri on George Washington here. A lot of George Washington support. There is Bobby Mack as well. Elliott going with the under. He says that they haven't reached that point in 4 out of 5. Yeah, kind of like what I was saying there. R. Thompson on the under. Robert on the under here as well. James Farm on GW. A lot of GW support, man. I was coming in here to make this about VCU, but you guys are taking a lot of GW here. I don't know if I can do it. Okay, I'll make my call here, I guess. Let me just make sure here. Maybe I should go to the total. I don't want to be against necessarily all the chat all-stars here. You guys are liking GW here, but I like VCU. I'll you guys come in here and give me the business tomorrow if GW does it. Look, they only have to cover the 6.5. So now I'm saying you guys aren't necessarily saying they're going to win, but I'm going to have to take VCU to win and cover here. Maybe I'm a little square in this one. Like I said, I'm not happy about VCU 5-11 against the spread at home. I admit it. They're VCU. They're winning. They're not necessarily covering, but GW is having some problems covering there as well. They definitely played a little bit better here over these last couple of games. So maybe they're coming back here a little bit. I'll give it to you. Okay, let's go to the next one here right now. with, all right, Wisconsin taking on Ohio State here. A good one out of the Big Ten tonight. Wisconsin ranked 24th after a couple of wins last week. Wisconsin with wins here over Michigan State, 92-71. They got the money in that one, of course, easy as an underdog at home in that one. And remember, they upset Illinois 92-90 in overtime as a 9.5-point dog. Wisconsin's been pretty hot here to the number of late. They're 5-3 against the spread on the road, 10-8 against the spread as a favorite. Ohio State is 7-10 against the spread at home. Coming into this one for the Badgers here, they've won 9 of their last 11, covered 4 of their last 5, and they've also won 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams. How about Wisconsin here? They really dominate against Ohio State. They've won 4 straight meetings against them, including back in January, 92-82 at home as a 4.5-point favorite. They also won the meeting last year, 70-68 as a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Now, granted, Ohio State did cover that one here at home, but that was 6.5 points. This is 1.5 points, mainly because Ohio State's been, a pretty good lot here. They're 11-3 straight up at home. They are, however, just 2-7 straight up as an underdog. Still, this is closely rated after all. Right now, it's 1.5, 156.5. But man, Wisconsin has owned this series. For Ohio State here, just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, including 4 of the last 5 here at Ohio State. And I feel like that's where this one would probably be headed. But I want to take the side here. I'm going to end up taking Wisconsin. I can't lay off these guys right now. Look, when Ohio State plays these, when they play good teams, it feels like right now it's not usually going high. And I think that's going to favor Wisconsin here in this game against Ohio State. Let's see what you guys have in the chat in this one. I'm going to be on the Badgers here on the road over the Buckeyes. See what you have in the chat. And Justin's on the Buckeyes here, though. VAR is on Wisconsin. Elliot says Ohio State's lost their last 4 games against them. Yeah. And they've mostly been covers for Ohio State. It goes back, right, a little bit longer than that even. The last time Ohio State won was in was 5 games ago anyway, between them, back in March of 23. Ohio State won on the road 65-57. But, okay, let's see here. Wisconsin maybe on a lean. Here's Jordy with Wisconsin. Andrew K is ready for the hockey game to start here. I'll get ready to put it on as well. And Robert liking the under here. Give me Wisconsin in this one. Hey, maybe we can get off the air here in time for that hockey game between the Czech Republic and Denmark. Remember my plays again on Czech Republic. Let's be polite. Czechia. This country's had, in my lifetime, I think this country's had 5 different names. Okay. Czechia minus 1.5, and I'm going under 6. I'm going to pay the juice on that. Okay, let's continue on here with the next one here with, okay. Now we're talking another big one here in the Big Ten with Nebraska taking on Iowa here on the road. Nebraska ranked 9th in the country right now, 22-3. Iowa here coming off a couple losses actually for the Hawkeyes. They lost to Maryland on the road, but lost to Purdue at home. Lost badly, actually, 78-57. They got rocked in that one. For Iowa here, they are 10-7 against the spread at home, 11-6 against the spread as a favorite. Pretty good numbers, right? But Nebraska, 6-1 against the spread on the road. Nebraska's been an underdog only 4 times this season. They've covered the spread every single time they've been an underdog, although they did lose one of those games. Still, it was to Michigan, as a matter of fact. Remember, 75-72 at Michigan a couple of weeks ago, but they were getting 11.5 in that one. That was the only one where they lost and did not cover. But other than that, they're 4-0, Nebraska, against the spread this season. And this is their element on the road here, 6-1, as I said, ATS for Nebraska here. Nebraska's just 3-6 against the spread, however, in their last 9 games against the Hawkeyes. But the Hawkeyes, despite going 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games, are just 2-5 against the spread. So they're usually laying too many points, but this is not exactly a lot of points. This is pretty much just win and you probably cover with this game. Anyway, 7 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over. And look, I understand here, maybe at home, Iowa still, I mean, they're 12-5 to the over as a favorite, 11-6 to the over at home. Now, I know that Nebraska's been playing a ton of unders this season. They're, I think, almost 70% to the under overall. But like I said, when they're an underdog, those games that they've won, they've had 2 overs and 2 unders. On the road, just 3 overs and 4 unders. I know that still says under, but kind of like the eye test again. When I see these Nebraska teams go on the road here against conference opposition, usually it's well over this number. It's usually into the 140s, quite honestly. And it's not like Iowa's playing any semblance of good defense. Like I said, they're an over team as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take Nebraska in this game. But I think this thing could be a pretty high-scoring game, actually, here with Nebraska, doing what they do offensively. And then also with Iowa, I think, to keep up here a little bit. I say keep up. They're favored. Whew. Boy, you guys have been watching too late in the Olympics here. You got Sturts here, lighting it up right now for Iowa here. I'm gonna go with the Huskers. I'm going with the Huskers here in this one. Nebraska 11-3 right now in the standings. That's good for just 2.5 games back of Michigan. I mean, Michigan's in control right now, but man, the Big Ten's got some hot teams up top here. Iowa's just 8-6, and they're really having a solid year, no doubt about it. They've got a top 15 defense here, and I think that's what kind of catches people's eye a little bit when you're talking about maybe keeping this game down, but still you got Nebraska top 30 offense in the interior. Hey, let's get another steam play in here. I've talked up how good the steam was yesterday. TCU is taking the steam right now in the game against Central Florida. They were getting 2.5 right now, but TCU is taking the steam. It's down to 1.5 right now. TCU is taking the steam right here, right now on the Morning Steam Show. All right, we got a few more comments from you guys here in Nebraska and Iowa. Let's go to it in the chat and see what we got. Bar is on Nebraska here. Justin's on Nebraska as well. Twisted on Nebraska. And Bar's on Nebraska. Wow, a lot of Nebraska here. I should have went with the total. I made my pick first. I'm on Nebraska with you guys. Elliott, Nebraska in the over. And Twisted said this should be an under on the over. Same thing. Twisted and I really clicking on these totals today. If I know when I'm sitting here tonight, if the totals are winning, Twisted's going to be winning as well. We just saw those winners for Twisted. Hope I'm with him today. Iowa here for Bobby Mack, though, at home to get it done. R. Tom's on the over. Twisted going with the corn. Here, now we got the gold medal race here in the team pursuit for the men right now. Can the U.S. do it here? Against Italy? Oh, man. I feel a little weird here. I did bet on Italy, but right now the U.S. I think is. Oh God, it's well, the pursuit. I mean, it's close. Italy's winning by 6/100ths of a second. Twisted here is on the over. Feel bad here. I'm sitting here taking Italy. In just some speed skating event. Like, shouldn't you just be betting the U.S. and so you can root them home? But I did take Italy at even money in this right now. And now United States is in the lead. Oh, exciting race here, you guys. If you're watching it with me right now, the gold medal of the speed skating men's team pursuit. Right now, United States versus Italy. Pretty exciting. All right. Justin likes the over there in Nebraska as well. I mean, look, there's two trains of thought, and I understand that here with this game. I mean, like I said, Nebraska is, 8-17 to the under this season, but it's been mostly at home. They are 5-13 to the under at home, 3-4 to the under on the road. Still says under, but again, Iowa's an over team for sure. Like I said, 11-6 to the over at home, and 12-5 to the over as a favorite. And like I said, Nebraska with all those. Oh man, now U.S. is really in charge. I'm going to lose this bet. Hey, glory to the USA right now. They're still winning it by half a second there. Okay, let me put my play in there. We got one last game here, and then the hockey game's going to start. So I'm on the Huskers. All right, this is the last one here for our previews, and a good one here in the Big 12 with Texas Tech taking on Arizona State here in Tempe tonight. Texas Tech, a big favorite here, but good game here. Texas Tech ranked 13th right now. They've got all that momentum of some impressive wins here of late, with wins and covers over Colorado, and then obviously the big win over Arizona last week in Tucson. Of course, Koa Pete, we did see, I think the report came out. I think he's going to miss a little bit more time. He left that game didn't even play in the second half, and it was costly. There's no doubt after Pete left, the game still went overtime, but close all the way nonetheless, with Texas Tech getting that win last week. All right, let's see how you guys see this one. ASU, meanwhile, they come in off of a win over Oklahoma State, won and covered at home. They lost at Colorado, but did beat up on Utah on the road, 71-63. ASU is 10-6 against the spread at home, 10-5 against the spread as an underdog. And Texas Tech, although they are 5-3 against the spread on the road, they're just 8-10 against the spread as a favorite. But I think we're dealing with two different. Oh, well, you know what? It pays to be the luckiest handicap. I don't think it's a lucky there. I just said the U.S. was ahead by half a second. Italy wins the gold medal by 4.5 seconds. They really got it rocking there in the last laps, and United States wins the silver medal. I won my bet at even money with Italy winning the men's team pursuit speed skating right here. I'm betting speed skating here on the Morning Steam Show. How about that? Got to make up for these stock market losses here. How much have we lost on these cryptos over the last 6 months right now? Jeez. Okay. Anyway, let me get to this last game. We'll get on out of here and watch the hockey game here. All right, for the Red Raiders coming in here, they've won 12 of their last 15, including 4 of their last 5 on the road, 6-2 against the spread, their last 8 overall. Like I said, both teams pretty profitable, except for Texas Tech as a favorite. They're 8-10 against the spread overall. Still, ASU has lost 10 of their last 14 games overall. However, they are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 and 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 at home. Now, granted, they've been an underdog in some of these games here of late. They won as an underdog, as I said, at Utah. They also covered as a dog against U of A and Central Florida as part of their cover streak here right now. I'd probably end up, I might be on the under here in this one with Texas Tech and Arizona State. Here tonight, the total here, it's not 151. I know that. This thing has dropped considerably. So I'm going to call it 152, but it may even go lower than this. And I'm on the under here in this one. Let me see here. Did this thing get steamed? Yeah, I did. Okay, right as we were going on the air, I missed it. So the steam came in on the under, taking it down here from 154 and a half down to 152. So not beating the market here in this one, but I'm going to take the under as my play between Texas Tech and Arizona State. Texas Tech is 3-5 to the under on the road. ASU is 6-10 to the under at home. They are 8-7 to the over as a favorite, but Texas Tech 8-10 to the under as a favorite. I think also can report that Arizona has gone under in 5 straight games. Texas Tech has gone under in 4 of their last 5. I'm going to go under here in this one. Their last meeting here, they played in the regular season last year here at ASU. It was 85-57. Texas Tech rocked them as a 12.5 point favorite last year here in Tempe, covering 12.5. I'm going to take the under here. See what you got in this one, I guess, and then the show is over. All right, Elliott likes Texas Tech in the under. Twisted likes Texas Tech. Bobby Mack is liking Arizona State here to cover it as a dog. And he also likes the over in this one. Twisted's got his plays up here and ready, so take a look at them all here right now. He was so hot. Did us a solid here putting all these plays up. Let's look at them there. And we're going to get out of here. We're going to do the drawing. Thanks a lot for joining me here, everybody. Just checking one last look at some of the news here coming in. All right, Twisted with a few more plays. And let's see here. Thanks a lot, everyone. 9 Legacy, Texas Tech on the spread. And maybe talk about the letdown spot there a little bit, right, for Texas Tech after beating Arizona. But I don't know if Texas Tech, I mean, granted, it is a big win, no doubt about it. But I'm still Texas Tech here. They were 13th in the new poll release yesterday. So they are confident and they expect to win those games. Obviously, a letdown here, when you talk about letdowns, right, when you're in the I would say the same city, but kind of like when the old Pac-12 games, right? You go in, you play the 2 Arizona teams, you beat Arizona, and now you got to beat Arizona State. It doesn't look quite as attractive right there, if you know what I mean. So that's the obvious letdown when you play these, 2 games in 3 days type of thing, 4 days, whatever it is, and you're playing the 2 teams in that little region. That was what was so great about the Pac-12, right? You'd go play Stanford and Cal. You'd go play Oregon and Oregon State. You'd go play Washington and Washington State. Why you got to mess with a good thing? All right, I'll take the under here in this one, and that's the Morning Steam Show. Let's do the drawing here right now, and then we're going to get on out of here and go take a look at that hockey match about ready to start. I'm going to fire it up here on the old Peacock. Can I say that here? Although, out of all these names, I think Peacock, that's a pretty good name, right? I mean, NBC was proud as a peacock. Okay, here we go. Where is it at? Czech and Denmark. Here we go. Put it on. There we go. You can see you can see it there. Oh, not ready to go yet. Okay, that's it for the morning steam. Let's do the drawing here. Let's first listen to Mikey Money, going to give us the lowdown on Winnable.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Okay, do we only have 17 people who commented today? All right, well, hey, when you go over to winnable.com, you're going to see my little page right here with premium selections, and then you'll see how to sign up as well. When you do over there, you'll sign up here. Just make sure you're hooked up with the free picks section at least here with me. I gave out some winners yesterday on the free, but if you use the promo code STEAM there and choose 1 month at $19.95. You'll get a lot of plays from me during the day, a couple of packages, a couple of releases, and then it comes out to 41 cents a day. So if you're feeling generous and want to support me here a little bit, keep me fed and some pizzas. Like I said, I got, nearly 50 subscribers paying 41 cents a day. Man, I'm eating good in the neighborhood here. I mean, I'm going with the New Haven style from Rocco's Pizza over here with you guys. So keep it coming and join me and subscribe over at winnable.com. Maybe one day I'll graduate to some filet mignons. All right, let's take a look here at the winner of the drawing. Who wins? All of our regulars in here today. Philly Eagle Flyer, AO D, Trevor D. We got Twisted. We got Andrew K. We got the winners, 9 Legacy. Always doing us such a solid with some great comments in here. OG. Not all the OGs were here today. Thanks to 9 Legacy as well. So anyway, what I was saying here, let me show it a little bit better on the big screen here right now. So when you subscribe over there at winnable.com to the monthly here, it comes up looking just like this, and there's a little surcharge on there as well, but you can do it on Apple Pay, Google Pay, and when you click it over there, it comes up just like it always, like you're ordering your Taco Bell there over at winnable.com. And then when the picks do come in, it comes in really good, and you'll see all the way the plays come in. The cool thing about it, it kind of grades it too. Like here was a VIP winner yesterday in women's college basketball, Arkansas and Mississippi State under there. Winner with the premium women's college basketball, Oklahoma State and Utah had some other winners yesterday with some ATP. We had Medvedev over Zheng Sheng yesterday. So check me out over there at winnable.com. I'm going to send out some more great packages here today. Like I said, I've already got my 2 plays in the Champions League today. So get those today. Go over and get those premium picks. They're ready to go for Champions League here today. Maybe your picks are in as well in the Champions League. One game gets underway here in about 2 hours from now, and then they've got a card also today at the late time action there at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific time here in Las Vegas. So also some CONCACAF Champions League tonight, some games also in England Championship here. All right, thanks everybody. Enjoy the Olympics here. You're going to want to catch some of this coverage tonight in prime time, by the way. Make sure you're checking out later on freestyle skiing men's big air with Podmelsack of the United States still to come in an exciting competition there in the men's big air freestyle skiing. You gotta like Podmelsack possibly to get the gold. Men looking for a gold here today with this card here, but they'll get their chances. Thanks, everyone in the chat. Let's see who's saying anything as we get on out of here. Art Thompson, thank you. And Trevor, which one, Trevor? Let me know. Is it in the hockey game? The one we're playing right now here, I got Czechia -1.5 and under 6 still to come. Sweden and Latvia, I'm laying 3 goals and I'm buying it up to 6 and I'm going under. Look, on both these games, I don't think just the margins here. It may be a situation where the best I can do might be a 1-0-1 on the games, but I'd rather, have the insurance there. So it could ever go 0-2, no doubt about it, but I'm just going to play them like that a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Thank you to AOD, of course. Elliot, thank you. Jordy, all right. Andrew K. Stacks as well. Thank you, guys. Great job today. Bobby Mack, okay. And that's it. All right, Pizza Hut. You know what? I mean, look, the way you guys are being generous with me, I'm going to leave Pizza Hut behind in the dust. The only time we get a Pizza Hut is we are urgent, because that is like the closest of the chain stores here. So that's when we're, even Little Caesars is farther. So Pizza Hut wins when we're desperate for the pizza quickly. All right. Thanks, everybody. It's going to do. We'll see you tomorrow here. More Morning Steam. Don't forget to join Mikey today. Mikey Money joins you at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. for pre-gaming. You'll look at a few college basketball games. We're almost ready, guys. Just 2 more days. We'll be back at the NBA. Get things going here, and NHL here in a couple weeks. And, of course, who could forget, we got Major League Baseball coming up here in no time flat with spring training games. So, all right, it's going to do it here for the Morning Steam. And for the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So,
that's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.